What is the one grammatical mistake people make that you're tired of correcting? Haha, I see what you did there, right? I feel like we're really taking up's joke for granted. Nice one. Effect versus affect. Bad grammar really affects me. It really has some serious effects on my brain. I might have said I could care less, but it would literally be too much. Angry upvote. It's etc. not etc. Verbal only, but it drives me nuts for some reason. I feel my inner grammar Nazi fill with rage as I push my glasses up and say actually it's 60s, not 60s. A good way to think about it is to write out the number 60s, not 60s. I like 60s. I wish fewer people would misuse less. They probably couldn't care fewer. A new one I'm seeing all the time lately is people writing per se instead of per se. It doesn't have anything to do with saying anything. Per se is from Latin and means intrinsically. People who say would have or anything of the like instead of the proper would have. They should have known better. I'll versus I'll. It is so frequently misused, and by typically intelligent people, which makes it worse. I'll try to remember that when I'm walking down the aisle on a tropical ill. Losers who can't spell loser. Love the bait. But to answer your question, it would be when people say could have or would have when they mean to say could have or would have. I see what you did there. You're a genius. How do you console someone with bad grammar? Using lay and lie wrongly. It's everywhere. The final straw was when one of my highly educated sons misused it. At that point, I gave up. Is there anything more stereotypical than boys who lie about whom they lay? You've piqued my interest with this post. Happy holidays from the bakers. Incorrect apostrophe use drives me crazy. Mine is larger than yours. Instead of mine is larger than yours. Ugh, I see this so much on Reddit. Between you and I think people confuse the me I use a lot. Me hate this one. I don't really correct people too much with the way they talk. But the one thing I hate the most is addicting, bro. It's addictive. Not addicting. This candy is so addicting. Wrong, this candy is so addictive. Correct. Well, the candy is addicting you to it. Misplaced apostrophes. I have to. When talking about two or more people, him and, her and, me and, the worst, I's, as in my husband and I's honeymoon. 10 items or less. It should be 10 items or fewer because items is a countable noun. For all intensive purposes. That one drives me bonkers. When people use could have not knowing it's could have or could have. Also, me and her instead of her and I. Loose instead of loose has been driving me nuts. Same with defiantly instead of definitely. It's by accident, not on accident. Using way too many commas. Regardless of what you might think. Irregardless is not a word. Stop using it. Rage edit. Still rage. My brother and sister-in-law were going on about this. So that night I looked it up. I honestly cannot comprehend how many people think you spell the word lose loose. It's etc. Not etc. I could care less. OP may have done this on purpose. I can't stand the fact that so many people don't know the difference between lose and loose. You could say it makes me lose my mind. Breaks. Could care less. I could care less. You mean you couldn't care less, but don't take my word for it. https://www.youtube.com watch v equals 700mfkmpw. You monster. My name's Alexandria Pearson. People say and write Alexandra Pearson. I've been correcting people about my name since 2nd grade. Paid. It's paid. Honestly, IDK if this counts, but it just really bothers me when people pronounce espresso wrong. S to make something plural. I see what you did there. OP, take my upvote. To and to there and there. Espresso. I saw an actual Cuban cafe spell it this way once. When people tell me that I misspelled Murphy's Law, I was getting so triggered and all stiff reading these comments. Then I reread the title and remembered why. Not quite grammar. But no one is not a word. When people say to instead of to, writing up to, as in up to you, and a lot as one word, instead of up to and a lot, you're trolling me, right? Good one. You win. When people use quotations wrong. I see what you did there. Yes, I get the joke, but I don't like when someone says, none of us know instead of none of us knows. Irregardless. Anyways, that word is not a noun. It has no plural form. It's anyway, there, there, your. In French, c'est your race. Des chevals. More and more I see people saying that they're hyped for something. No, you're hyped. I think Twitter texting is changing language for the worse. In my opinion, everything is getting shortened. I swear the verb to be should be put on the endangered species list. I could care less. Every day I see people mistakenly combine two words into one. Did you people not go to high school? Ridiculous. Tsire. Rain. Rain very different. Comprise and compose. Comprise is a verb that means to include or contain or to consist of, as in the pie comprises 8 slices. Compose means to be or constitute a part of, element of, or to make up or form the basis of, as in 8 slices compose the pie, or the pie is composed of 8 slices. It's literally the haphazardly absurd overuse of literally to literally mean emphasis instead of literally. The use of the word ratchet to describe someone. The word is wretched, and no, I don't care that it became slang to use it like that. Lose versus lose. Work. If you're a native English speaker and you are decently educated, there's no reason this should be that hard. Have went thinking that grammar is more important than what's being said. When people say I seen it instead of I saw it, most of my in-laws' family says this. So as I have never corrected them out loud, I have in my head many times. Your and your woman with medium dark skin tone face palming, spelling decades incorrectly. For example, if you want to write the abbreviated form of 1990s, you write 90s. The difference between the writings is the following. 1990s, 10-year decade. 90s, 10-year decade. 90s, old people. 1990s, means nothing. Unless there is a thing called the 1990 and something belongs to it. 90s again means nothing and follows the rules above. 90s, WTF are you doing? Calm your tits on the excessive apostrophes, as I have no idea what you mean. If you forget the rule, simple look up that 70s show and that will show you the correct spelling of a decade. Should've. God damn it. It's should or should have. A lot of grammatical errors bother me, but by far the biggest one is using I as an object. For example, something good just happened to my mom and I'm pretty sure I took psychic damage just from typing that. I guess everyone just gets told at some point in their lives that it's always and I when you have a compound subject, not realizing that that rule does not apply to compound objects. A lot. We don't say a few. There, and there. It's so frustrating. I feel like OP didn't mean to do that and he's now having a mental breakdown. Yeah, you son of a bitch. Your equals yeah. I see what you did though. When people say seen in place of saw, get your shit together. I defiantly don't have any grammatical pet peeves. As a non-native English speaker, I am sorry to inform you that my mastery of your language is way better than yours. It is not a garage sale. You don't need to sell your car. These two are not interchangeable. Paid versus paid, for the love of all that is holy. Not grammar, but the loose versus loose thing destroys me. The dollar sign goes before the money, not after. Fear there. Which vs. that. Wary. I constantly see comments where people use weary when it should be wary. It makes me die inside every time. Where? Why adjective. Feeling or showing tiredness. Especially as a result of excessive exertion or lack of sleep. He gave a long, weary sigh. Verb. Caused to become tired. She was wearied by her persistent cough. War. Why where adjective. Feeling or showing caution about possible dangers or problems. Dogs that have been mistreated often remain very wary of strangers. You're very lucky I'm not in the mood for correcting grammatical errors. The title should have said you're paid your. There. Don't gaslight me. I'm pretty forgiving of there. Unless of course we're talking about, say, a resume or school paper. But texting especially, sometimes it's hard to catch autocorrect. What really gets under my skin is hearing I seen. Oof. You're doing good OP. Mine is a lot equals not a word. A lot. Schlenfkop, nobody knows how to spell it right or use it correctly. I see what you did there. Not exactly grammatical. But I can't stand when people say pronunciation. Because it's really pronunciation. Happens way more often than you'd think. Super ironic word. That one. Your. There. I don't know where I am. You're going to have to help me out. Last I remember there was a post which asked me what grammatical mistake I'm tired of correcting. There are a few I can think of, but I'm struggling too much to decide. In all seriousness, proper grammar is a huge practice I've put a lot of time into. The worst one is there, and there, but I can also understand where a lot of folks can get them confused. There. I can barely spell without spell check, but these matter to me lol. Fear in their own world. Over there. It must be tough to learn English as a second language. That is a very good observation. I see your point. It's your now. Deal with it. Yeah. When people mess up to and to like oyemito or I went to the store, it's so annoying. Mixing up infer and imply. Loses. Nobody seems to know how to spell loses. I wish people understood what quotation marks are for.